Bonjour! Today we're going to learn about le 14 juillet, Bastille Day, its historical background, its significance, and a little bit about how we celebrate it nowadays. The French Revolution is a major event which played a crucial role in making France what it is today. It's also influenced the rest of the world in more ways than one. There were three categories of people in France: the clergy, working for the Catholic Church, so priests, bishops, and so on; nobles, who weren't allowed to work and inherited their titles from birth, and would usually have castles, for example; and then everyone else, which is 98% of the population, was called third estate, most of them peasants, that is to say rural workers, and some of them merchants and artisans. So here is the context. For decades, the French state had been spending and losing a lot of money. Wars, especially against England, financial support for the American War of Independence, and terrible harvests due to very cold winters and poor weather for years. All of this resulted in heavy debts. King Louis XVI tried to see if he could tax the clergy and the nobles. This did not happen. On the 29th of June, 1789, people representing the Third Estate got together in a jeu de paume center. What is jeu de paume, by the way? Well, it means palm game, and it's the ancestor of tennis. So this is the actual place where they met. This is what it looks like from the inside. And this is jeu de paume. It was played with your hand or a basic racket, a ball and a net on a court, very much like tennis. And players would say tenez, which translates to take or here you go when serving. So yeah, tennis is very much a French thing. But back on the 29th of June, 1789, people representing the Third Estate got together in a big assembly called General Assembly and decided they would write a new French constitution promoting more liberty and more equality. People in Paris knew they had to get organized and ready to stand up to the power in place, to nobles, and to the clergy, as troops would be sent against them to force them to stop things and to stop to try to make changes. This is why they stormed their local depot of weapons and ammunition, the Bastille armory and fortress. They also freed political prisoners and took all the weapons they needed to defend their cause. This is the day which was chosen about 100 years later to commemorate the French Republic. Other important dates include the abolition des privilèges, or abolition of feudalism, on the 4th of August, 1789. It meant no more lords owning everything while people weren't allowed anything. No more slavery. In effect, a society with much more equality. Then on the 26th of August, 1789, French revolutionaries wrote the Declaration of Rights of Man and the Citizen, which directly inspired our current Declaration of Human Rights. Now, when we hear about the French Revolution, we always hear about how the king was guillotined. So here's a little background on this as well. On the night of June 20th, 1791, Louis XVI, Queen Marie Antoinette, and their children tried to secretly leave France and go to Austria, which is where Marie Antoinette was born, and get the king and leaders there to help them stop the revolution and invade France for them. They did not make it and were arrested in the east of France, in a town called Varennes. The story is that someone recognized the king from seeing his face, and in particular his nose, on a coin, like a coin of money. So when they saw him, they knew it was him, the king, trying to escape. As a consequence, for what was seen as an act of treason, Louis XVI was sentenced to death. Now, the death penalty was absolutely normal in this era, and the guillotine was actually a way for it to be more efficient and less painful. The French Revolution was a significant event. It put an end to French monarchy, feudalism, slavery, and took political power away from the Catholic Church. It brought new ideas to Europe, including liberty and freedom for the common people. The 14th of July was selected as France's National Day about a century later. Nowadays, people celebrate with a traditional fireworks display, dances, and in Paris, there's a massive and really colorful military parade. Merci de votre attention.